Howdy dandy do, neighbor. I'm Tim, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show.
I'm Matt, and I've got the guy from The Simpsons here with me apparently. This is the 10 at 10 for August 8th of 2023. I think you got some incredible stuff here on the table. If you're watching this a year later, I mean, some of these could be 20 feet tall, some of them could be 4 inches tall, but this is indicative of what we have right now in 2023.
Y'all, we're bringing it each and every week with 10 at 10s on Tuesday. They get listed at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get heads up on what's getting listed, you can sign up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. Then you'll get that email that goes out beforehand, so you'll know the full listing of the 20 plants. But y'all, we're going to be talking about 10 of the 20 getting listed today at 10 a.m.
There's some killer plants on here. I'm really a big fan of these. Not like killer like they're going to eat you or be poisonous, but some incredible, awesome plants.
Y'all, make sure you smash that like button. Share this video with your gardening friends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast. And y'all, remember, these go live at 10 a.m. So get your quick fingers ready. Get ready to check out fast. Many of these are going to sell out really quick today.
All right, let's get into it. First over here, we got La Diabla.
La Diabla.
I think it means the devil chicken.
The devil woman. This is basically a fiery engine red with yellows infusing in the early spring. It is a really unique spring interest Japanese maple.
Yeah, I'd love to pair this with something like Phoenix. I think the two would play off each other incredibly. This even plays into that kind of bonsai aesthetic of like DeSojo. That small leaf works great. It's going to give you a whole new color palette. If you're someone who's collecting all those bonsai types like DeSojo, Shin DeSojo, Benny Shidori, think about this one as an alternative that could add high intensity colors to it. It looks great in the landscape as well. It's a very new introduction with some incredible color patterns.
Yeah, in the springtime when this is red on the outside with yellow on the interior, it looks like it's on fire. And that's where it gets the name of La Diabla. I mean, such a fun, very unique Japanese maple.
Man, put this next to Mila. How about that for a color contrast?
That's a pretty good one.
All right, next up, I'll let you do the honors.
Lily pad.
Oh, guys, we got lily pad back. Y'all been waiting on this one for a minute. We love lily pad. It's a cool plant. You may know I paid like $350 for the first one I ever got. I bet it at an auction for the maple side. Bid that sucker up high. You won't have to spend $350 on these. We keep it very reasonable. I've had a lot of people telling me they're tired of our stuff selling out. We should jack our prices up. I don't know. We're going to keep them the same, guys, but some things do sell out. Be ready at 10 a.m. Lily pad is one of those trees that's always popular. This one has an intense variegation to it, which is really unique, but also a small spreading habit to it.
Yeah, this one has a unique variegation. It's a margin variegation of like a lime green on that dark green foliage. The unique thing about lily pad, though, is it is short and wide. And so that's where it has that lily pad name, is from the actual shape of the tree. But this was found as a variegated sport on Makawi Etsubusa. So pretty fun, very different Makawi Etsubusa variant you'll definitely love. Incredible
in the fall too. I mean, this one's pretty neat. In the fall, that green part kind of has your traditional fiery, orangey red Makawa part, and it's not uncommon to get some yellowish color on that variegation. So very unique splash to it in the fall, really sets it off. Excellent container plant. You can put this one in a big pot, patio planter, it's really gonna look cool. All right, y'all, next up, we're bringing back the Batman, the Batwing, Acer Usugumo. Batman soars in the Batwing.
This thing does have that Batwing style leaf. In the springtime, when it first leaves out, it will give you some coral pinks, then goes to the white. And that's really what it's known for, because it gives a consistent white variegation all across the foliage in the early spring. New growth flushes during the summer aren't as white. That's just very typical. But this tree makes, a good sized tree long term, but it is very slow growing. We've got one now that's probably 15, 17 feet in our gardens at Maplewood Gardens. And it just makes an amazing specimen that everyone just is drawn right to.
If Jack Nicholson ever shows up dressed like the Joker with like a really long pistol, he might shoot it down, so be careful. But an incredible plant. Guys, this one has a weird, creepy variegation to it. I like to describe it as creepy because it's got that swirling and it kind of just gets more intense. It's got that Batwing size leaf. So that leaf is huge and, just an incredible overall plant.
Yeah, I love the pictums. They sell out very quickly. This is the second set that we had here at Mr. Maple that we found, and we're like, man, how did we not count those in the first time we listed it? It sells out really quickly, so do check out fast. Whenever you add something to a cart, it doesn't hold it for you until you complete that checkout process. So just pro tip right there.
Jack Nicholson's still the best Joker. If he shows up in your garden with a shovel and he says, "Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" just get out quick.
Y'all, next we've got Acer Palmatum Murasaki Kiyohime.
Awesome plant, y'all. This one, I'm a big fan of this one, y'all. This one is an incredible plant. It brings it in that container garden or in the landscape. You probably know about Murasaki Kiyohime too. It's got that low spreading habit to it, that bright purple border in the early spring. That's why it's so highly sought after for bonsai people. But hey, if you're a plant people, you'll love this one too.
Now, the thing that distinguishes this one from something like Kiyohime, people always ask us, Kiyohime has a lot more lateral growth, and while this still has lateral growth to it, it is semi-upright in its habit. So you'll often have one off of the ground a little bit with a Murasaki Kiyohime, where Kiyohime itself is low and spreading closer to the ground.
This one's perfect still for a setting like in front of a window or somewhere you don't want something that gets too big, but you want a high splash of color. You can put these up close to your house because they have very non-invasive roots. Now, if you're very close to, like, say our house, like we have one up against a rock wall, it is going to be more of a half moon than a full circle. So these tend to be more of a small, kind of rounded shape to them, kind of that toadstool-like canopy to it. And I mean, great fall colors too. More typically reds to oranges in the fall, but really the really premium thing about this is that spring color with that purple border.
I think when we had these at garden shows, they were some of our first trees that sold out in that early spring when you have that purple-red border around the lime green eye on the outside, all the way around the tree in a uniform way. It just grabs your attention. It looks like a flower flowering, and everybody wants to take this tree and put it in a container. I mean, it's a fantastic container plant. You can grow this in the ground too, but it is extremely heat tolerant. That means you can grow this in the shade, but you can also grow this in a more sun setting as well, which is pretty spectacular for a little dwarf Japanese maple.
You know, now that we sell trees online instead of in person as much, there's a little less drama. This would be one at garden shows that people would be like, did they get the last one? And like, I certainly feel it when it sells out online because people are like, hey, but it's a little less confrontational when they're like, I want one better than the one she got. And you have to go find one better.
So true, so true.
Uh-oh, what's this?
Guys, coming up next, we've got Angel the Prince.
Boom, back at you, Angel the Prince. Again, another one that sells out. This one's very popular. We do have a decent sized set of these, but you might want to add this one to cart and check out because they do go quickly. Angel the Prince, we throw it in that Makawa family. It gives me a little bit of Taro Yama vibes. It's kind of got something I like about Taro Yama in that leaf shape. One thing that's really cool about this one is that purple border in the early spring and that dense Makawa-like habit.
Yeah, it's very, very dense, very, very tight. Has a really nice upright habit with that. I mean, it's basically got leaves the size of Makawa Yetsubusa, a tight, densely layering habit, but the leaves twist and curl a little bit, which gives it something a little bit unique. You talked about that spring interest. I think Brian Rule captured some of the photos of that in the early spring, and everybody was just, their jaw dropped as soon as they saw this. Before we released it on Mr. Maple, and then when we released it, this is one that's in high demand here at Mr. Maple. So again, check out fast if you're coming after Angel the Prince.
I'd like to look, you know, we like those comparisons where we say like it's a little bit of this tree and a little bit of this tree, especially for new ones. This one kind of reminds me a little bit of something like a Taro Yama X Sumagaki. Like you get that Sumagaki border. I actually like that it's a little darker green during the summer months too. So you kind of get a little bit more of that darker evergreen color. Even right now during this time of the year, it really stands out in my Makawa collection by being a little bit more of that darker overall emeraldy green.
It is an awesome plant, and it's one you're going to want in your garden.
Good sizes in these. Lots of brooms on the table, a lot of good container plants. We got Acer Palmatum Elizabeth.
Y'all, Elizabeth is a selection that was found by Skeeter Rod as a witch's broom. It is another tight, dense, compact, where Skeeter's broom that Skeeter Rod found grows tall and narrow. This one is more Shana in its respect, but the colors are so different. You get brighter reds, you get some emerald greens in there, and some maroons. The color changes on this dwarf Japanese maple are electric.
Yeah, I would definitely compare the shape overall to Shana. I've had purple on this. I've had purplish maroons, like all kinds of crazy lavender shades on this in the early spring. It really brings it. Go through our photos on our website. Oftentimes you'll be surprised because there's more if you scroll over. Like you'll just see those first photos, but you can keep scrolling and those photos keep going. We're always adding new photos. This one, really showy broom. If you already have a Shana or you just like brooms, put this one in a container, put it around some of your other brooms. It's really going to show out as a dwarf compact tree. It's also excellent in the summer. You start to get that greener, older growth, but that pink purple flush over top is really nice.
Ooh. Coming back in stock, y'all. Acer Palmatum Ellarian.
Ellarian, always bringing the high drama. I love this one. It is a fun plant. Coincidentally, Talon Buckholtz, the guy I worked for him, it's named after, he said no drama at all. Great kid. But the plant, high drama right here. Intense colors, pinks, whites, super interesting. This one for me, I think if you're giving it some shade, can be one of the most white of that Aridino Nishiki style. You're definitely gonna get pinks in there too, but if you're giving it some heavy shade, I mean, this one can just get like so white, it looks like it needs like something green in there, but it handles it. It's very durable. That white coloration though, incredible.
Now, Ellarian was working at Talon Buckholtz's nursery, and Talon will often tell his workers to go out and look through the seedlings and see if they find something unique and different. And Ellarian had found this one and brought it to him and said, man, I really like this tree. And it has been a rock star. It really stood out from many of the Aridino Nishiki styles. And this one here, the white on it is just amazing.
Check out with these, Acer Palmatum Ellarian, coming back to Mr. Maple today, y'all. Manny no Sato.
Yeah, y'all, we got some 1 gallons of Manny no Sato, the Village of 10,000 Leaves.
This is a pretty cool tree if you like that kind of thing. I'm a big fan of this one. Bright purples in the early spring with yellow accents. Right now during this season, we're more of a chartreuse screen on green, but you can get some crazy swirl purples on this one. I like to say it with some of these styles, but man, when I hear this, when I look at this tree, I hear some Jimi Hendrix. That's what, it sounds like Jimi Hendrix guitars in my garden.
It's pretty awesome. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun for this plant to really get the best growth rate. But this is a plant that is, each leaf has a different, unique style of variegation to it. And you'll get margin variegation where it's just right around the edge. You'll get some sickle twists to the leaf, but you also get some leaves where the lobes are completely variegated. And so it just gives something unique and different all around each and every part of this tree. It's a photographer's delight, just like the Ellarian. This is a tree you're gonna really love. Plant it somewhere close so you can go up and enjoy this. Don't plant it off in the distance. You're gonna really wanna enjoy this really unique style of variegation.
Awesome tree. Back again, Manny no Sato. All right, now this next one, whoo man, this one's gonna be highly sought after, y'all. I've had some people message me. People message me all the time, and they look for me to spill the beans. I don't know, maybe they don't bug Tim. They think he's like, he's Mr. Straight-Laced, he ain't telling you, but they're like, that Matt likes to party, he'll tell me what's up. They ask me all the time when we're bringing back, or we're having a real first big set of Judy Girl Broom. I'm getting asked about this one a lot. I know we talked about it with Billy Schwartz. Billy Schwartz says this is the best broom he ever named. Man, I'm saying a lot. That guy found more brooms than anybody. So Judy Girl Broom, a very interesting new witch's broom here on Mr. Maple.
Now, Judy is his girlfriend, from long-term girlfriend he's had now for at least 5-6 years. And Billy, they actually both came and visited us not too long ago. And Billy is a very eccentric guy. He's found so many cool witch's brooms. We've got a whole interview with Billy Schwartz. Go check out our podcast. Amazing, fun time. He even talks about Muhammad Ali possibly throwing a fight with Joe Frazier.
I don't know how that one didn't go viral. I'm like, let's tag Sports Center in that one. It probably isn't one of our most viewed podcasts, but go back and watch that Billy Schwartz podcast. I promise you it'll be interesting and a lot of laughs.
He was Muhammad Ali's lawyer during the Frazier fights, and Muhammad Ali called him the Flower Man.
So he had so many Japanese maples in his yard.
Yeah.
Now, Judy Girl Broom, he says this is his best broom ever, and that's saying a lot. He took us to the original there in Pennsylvania. We got to go check it out. Dense habit to it. I like how big the leaves are. It's got kind of a tough, ruffled look to it. Very showy. The original broom, incredibly dense, round shape to it. I think it's going to be an excellent addition to Japanese maples. Really doesn't really remind me of any of the other brooms out there in the way it grows and the way it looks.
I will tell you the leaves are larger, almost like a Adrian's Compact or something like that, but it's a witch's broom. So it's tighter, dense, shaped more like a Shayna, but then you get all these different colors on it with blue emerald greens, with dark maroons, with some reds, even some yellow greens in there.
I mean, right now it's a high intensity pink going on. I've had this high intensity pink red in the spring on the entire plant. I think it's just going to be an absolute winner. And the more this one gets out in the trade, they say I don't weed enough anymore. The more this one gets out in the trade, it's going to be a really popular broom.
Y'all, you're going to love Judy Girl Broom.
Is it that I don't weed anymore, or is it that the trees have less weeds in them to begin with?
All right, y'all. We're bringing back 2-gallon Bueno Yamas.
Some big boys right here. This would pair really cool with that La Diabla up there. Some great sizes in these 2-gallon Bueno Yamas. This one brings that high golden orange color, especially in the early spring. Again, I think understated for bonsai. This is a great tree if you want to make some bonsai material from this. You know, think about a Bueno Yama in comparison to your DeSojo in your bonsai collection. It's going to look awesome. Now, this tree actually comes from Ueno Park in Japan. This is going to be dramatic here. We get some hate when we say this, but I'm told by Masayoshi Yano himself, Ueno Hamari and Bueno Yama, same plant.
Yeah.
Nurseryman will swear, no, this one's this one's this. He says I can show you the direct trees.
Bueno Yama means the mountain at Ueno, and Ueno Amare means like the pride of Ueno, which is kind of the same thing in Japanese culture.
And Ueno Park there's really known for that cherry blossom, high intensity spring cherry blossom hike. This one steals the show even from the cherry blossoms.
And I think what they're saying here is that poetry there, that this one is like a flowering tree, because that springtime, when you get that color in the spring, it's one of the first trees to leaf out in the spring. It's a tree that just looks like flowers all over it. Now, these are some really good sizes on these 2 gallons. They're going to ship in our long box. I understand that the long box shipping costs more than some of these 1 gallons, but here's a pro tip. Add a bunch of these to your box, and they can combine in this box for the same price as shipping this 2 gallon. So check that out.
All right, guys, this was the 10 at 10 for August 8th of 2023. Let us know in the comment section what you're after, what your favorite plant is here on the table. Shout out to our International Maple Mafia members. We appreciate everybody who subscribes here and becomes an official member of that Maple Mafia. We can't ship to our international members, but we love you tuning in and letting us know where you're from in that comment section. It's so cool to see people from all over the world watching these 10 at 10s.
And y'all, we got that Labor Day festival coming up. It's going to be September 4th. It's our open house. We're talking 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Be there or be square.
He's bringing that car energy. We're gonna make up some terms. We're gonna be like, hey, come to Maplethon. It's almost Oktoberfest here at Mr. Maple. we're bringing it. It is Mapletopia.
So guys, our open house, what it is we let you come shop the whole top part of our nursery. You can see plants that are available on our website, plants that have never been listed before on our website, and plants that are just going to release for the first time sometimes up here at our festivals. There's a fun group of people that travel from all over the United States to come shop that day. People get flights in, people drive from 20 plus hours away. And so you can meet other collectors out here as well. You're gonna wanna be here. We got a food truck, we got a band. Guys, it's gonna be a good time out here talking trees.
It's gonna be a maple timber to remember.
So y'all, make sure you shop fast today. A lot of these trees are gonna sell out fast. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.